Hey, Sonny here. So today I'm gonna show you how to play a song called S.A.T.O by Ozzy from the Diary of Madman album. The guitar I'm using is in standard tuning. I'm using my '89 Les Paul Custom, and I think S.A.T.O has one of the coolest riff that Randy ever played. It's the riff that right before the solo and the same riff after the solo, like this. And then it has one of the most underrated solo of all the Randy's Rhoads solos to me. I think it's really fun to play. It's not that difficult, and so I'll show you how to play that. Again, the guitar's in standard tuning, so it's standard E, A, D, G, B, E. So let's get started. Okay, here's the intro. So this is basically, there's a lot of dubbing going on in the intro. This is a combination of everything. That's what it sounds like if you just play one guitar. Basically, you start with the E chord. Open E power chord, and then high E string, B string, and high E open. And you play the C note on the third fret on the A string. And you play the same thing again on the high E and high B, and then you put your fingers on the fourth fret on the A string and the second finger on the G string, and then you play A4, G2, open B and open E, and you finish with a D sus chord, open D, open E, and the third fret on the B. Oh, by the way, I want to point out that I did record a cover, play along to the track, but it's blocked worldwide on YouTube because of copyright. So if you want to check it out, I actually put it on Facebook, and I put the link in my video below. The video is public, so you can access to it and check it out if you want to watch me playing along with the track for the whole song. So that was the beginning of the intro, and then the variation, second variation of the intro goes like this. Pretty much exactly the same as the first part of the intro, with just the only difference is that once you play the open chord, open E chord, you play the 3, 2, and open high E. So I use my pinky and my ring finger for that. And then C with a note on the A string. And you play the second fret on the E, open E, and open B. And then the rest is the same. And then that was the intro, and it goes to the main riff. Main riff goes like this. So what I do is I start from the third fret on the low E string, pull off second and open E, and then the rhythms is like this. You play the E chord at the 7th fret position, so you got A7, D9, and G9. So the rhythm, basically, you want to play this, get this part down, because you'll do this a lot the entire song. So you leave the open string, B and E string at the bottom, open. You pick the downstroke on the first 4 string, and then upward stroke from the bottom up, and then up, down, up, and mute, and then up again twice. That's pretty much the rhythm. Alright, so get back to the riff. So you play this E chord with the open B and E string, high E, high B string. And you play the C chord, still leaving open your B and high E string. The same rhythm. And then you play the 2nd fret on the A string, pull off 2nd and open A string. And then you go to A, sus. You put your finger on the 2nd fret of D and G string. Just like that. So. And you finish with the B chord. 2nd fret of A and 4th fret on the D, and then you play the open A string, hammer on the 2nd fret, pull off on A, and 3rd and 2nd on the E string. The whole thing. Second variation. You do the same rhythm, but after you mute 3 times, you'll play the 5th fret on the D string, pull off on 4th fret, and play the 7th fret on the A. And do the C chord, same thing. And you play this 5-4-5 on the D string. Nothing changes with the A, B chord, A chord, 3 and 2 on the E string. Second time. And then the verse is basically the same riff. I'll just show you without the extra notes. And then goes to the chorus. Open G chord, 3rd fret on the E string, and my ring finger and pinky on the 3rd fret on the B and high E string, and then you kind of use the flash, bottom the flash of your finger, or your index finger, to mute the A string. You play open D and open G, so you get this sound. And then you play. There's 2 ways you can play. You can play the B chord right here, a B flat chord at the first position. Or just play the 3rd fret of D and G. And then 2nd fret of D and G. And then 5th fret of D and G. So one more time. And it goes back to the verse. Alright, so that's the next part. Same rhythm. The only difference is that you play the 7th to 8th on the A, and then 5th fret on the D string, and then C chord with the open B and open high E string, and then play the 5th fret on the A, hammer on the 7th fret, and play the 5th fret on the D string. And then the A chord is the same. B, and you back to the second variation, or the first variation of the riff. The next part. So you play open A chord, and open B and E string together 5 times. And you play the 2nd fret on the G. And use a Remy bar, which I don't have it on this guitar. And you just bend down half step. Okay, so that's the second variation of that. Okay, the verse 2 variation goes like this. So you play the E chord, just like I showed you earlier. Down, up, twice mute, and then 7th fret on the G and B together, and the 9th fret of G and B 8 together. And you play the C sus chord with the open B and high E string, and mute, down and up, and then do the same thing again. 7th fret, G and B, and then 9 and 8 on the B string together. Nothing changed there. Second time. So you play the 4th fret on the G string, pull off 2nd and open. 4-2 open on the D. 3-2 open on the A. 3-2 open on the E. And you do the chorus. Do the chorus. And then you go into this, the really cool riff right before the solo. Alright, so it just basically is a B chord. Let me tune this real quick because it's a little out of tune. Hang on. So it's B chord, same rhythm, pattern. And you do down, up, down on the E chord after you play the B chord. And you play the E chord upstroke twice. And then you play the open E string, hammer on the 2nd and 4th fret on the E. A chord. And you play the 4th fret on the A string, pull off 2nd and open A string. Back to the riff. Slow down one more time. And you play this F sharp power chord. What I'll do is I'll put the index finger all through the 2nd fret all the way down, hold it down, and my ring and pinky on the 4th fret on the A string and the D string. So I play the top 3 notes together, and the upstroke on the last three notes, which is the second fret of E, B, and G. You do a D sus chord. That's you put your finger on the G2 and B3, leave open high E string and a D string, and you play. Basically, you play the open D string and the second fret of G together, and then you upstroke, play the open high E and the third fret of B together. And you have this riff coming up. Yeah, there's an octave below it too. I'll show you both. So you basically play the 14th fret on the E string, the 16th fret on the E, same thing, 14 and 16 on the A, 14 and 16 on the D, 14 and 16 on the G, and then 14 and 17 on the B, 14, 17, and 16 on the high E. You basically play the same notes to translate down at the bottom of the second fret. Or you can just turn on your octave pedal and play that, whichever you want to do. You can play this part. You have the octave up. You step on the octave pedal to bring your notes an octave higher. Or you can play this part, which I recommend, and play the octave, hit the octave pedal to bring the octave down 1 octave lower. That way, if you play this part, the 14th fret, then you can go into the solo. And then that leads into the solo. Okay, here's a solo one time slowly. And it goes back to the